with cancer. It was benign. I got back in touch with them when I was 18, and my adoptive parents, who are my parents, paid for me to go back to Barbados when I was 18 for my 18th birthday and meet all my relatives over there.
Any affinity?
Now, in my opinion, I'm English. I've been brought up in England, so while I love going to Barbados and eating the food and all the rest of it, my culture is English. This is the country that's given me all the opportunities, where I've had my success in business and life and all the rest of it, so this is my culture. And people who kind of deny interracial adoption on the basis of culture are making sure that ethnic children will be in residential care. And again, it comes back to common sense that the best place is a loving family home.
Is that common sense, Derek?
No, it's not. It's not common sense.
Is it not a danger if you say people should stay with their own race, their own cultures? That sounds like something
it's almost racist.
Out of BNP literature.
I think it's racist to peddle the notion that the monoculture of this country is the superior culture, and to deny other people access to their roots, to their heritage, to their art.
But can I just say, cut in? This is really important. Really important. If I was to address, it really is.
I've heard that before.
Because if I let's say I was from Japan and I was to come in here wearing a sumo outfit, it would be ridiculous because I've been brought up here. So when you're saying about other cultures, it's what you have lived and experienced. So that's nonsense.
Derek.
The argument is very clear. I think what Mr. Gove said this week was A, dangerous, and secondly, he introduced something that is a paradigm shift from where we should be looking at when it comes to adoption. I am not against transracial adoption, as long as the parents of that child from a different ethnic background is able to cater for the holistic needs of that child.
So what are the problems
not just a loving environment, because that's absolutely important.
It's the most important thing.
It's not the most important.
It is.
It is not the most important.
Of course it is.
It may be to yourself, but clearly to Precious it wasn't.
But Precious had an adoption that didn't work in the house, didn't she?
So it's very important that we understand when you say that it doesn't matter about a person's racial background or their heritage, you are also saying implicitly in that statement that the person or the group of people who will take that child on, that what they will impress on that child is then the most important. The second thing I think it was very dangerous for him to have done.
Well, nurture, that's...
Well, you're nurturing something out of a person and you're disconnecting them. That person, in a lot of cases, that child doesn't grow up as a fully rounded individual. We've got a living example sitting just a few feet away from
And you have a living example of a rounded individual.
Well, I don't think you're rounded, because some of the things that...
In your opinion.
What you said...
In your opinion. Sorry.
From what you have said...
But I am English.
From what you have said...
I'm not English. Are you saying I'm sorry? Are you saying I'm not English?
You're a black
The second
man.
thing that was said...
I'm a black man who lives in England.
You're a black man who has no idea about your roots.
Okay, wait. This is strong stuff. Wait, this is strong stuff, right? Let's put it to him, Derek. Right, let's see what he says about it.
He can have his point when I've finished my point.
Well, you just said he's a black man who is not aware of his roots.
It clearly isn't, because if you can make a statement this week on Radio 4 that what he views as black culture is me running around in tribal dress,
I didn't say
cooking
that.
It's on the radio.
It is.
Cooking on an open.
Well, let's hear
cooking
his...
on an open pot.
Let's hear his response.
That to me, well, you can. That to me is wrong. Simply because that is not what we understand as black culture.
But
black culture
there are many black
our
cultures,
history, our arts, our language. All those things are what we should be talking about when we have this debate about
that in
culture.
itself is a problem. What black culture?
Let's get Ben's response, and let's all listen
Thank you
to
very
what
much.
he's going to say.
Number one, and this is really important, you yourself don't have any direct experience of adoption. I am adopted, so you can't really tell me and put your opinions onto my thought process. Because
But I can judge your actions and behaviour. I can judge your actions and behaviour.
Number two, I have been born and brought up in this country. Therefore, I am English. I am a black man, that's quite obvious, and I embrace that. But I am also English. So I don't understand what...
people who even call themselves English, so why do you?
Because I am English.
I'm not saying you can't, but I'm just
You
curious.
know very few black people call themselves English.
Very few.
Let's see, why is this precious?
Nearly every black person I know will call themselves black or black British, or just British, or they might refer to themselves as African even though...
Wait, why not English then?
we're just not considered English. I don't
We?
think. Yes, but when I say we, I mean
Yeah.
black people.
I have
Is
to
this
say,
not
I have to
conscious-
say, though, I have to say,
Is this, wait a minute, is this not conscious, self-selected kind of separatism?
Yes.
Is that
No,
not
there was
No,
a
it isn't.
time in the
Yes.
70s.
Yes.
There was a time in the 70s, like they kept people kept changing what we were coloured, and then suddenly it was black and black British, but it was never English. The only time I've been called English is when I've been abroad. When I open my mouth in America, for example, and they'll say, "Oh, you're English," and I'll sort of think this is a novelty. But I would never even be called English.
This sort
in
of
England.
attitude is so dangerous
No.
because this is what causes all the conflict and issues and all of this stuff. It's
He's
so
dangerous.
dangerous.
I think so. I think
wait.
it's very dangerous.
He's
Why?
dangerous,
I think
why?
it's very dangerous because he
Why?
is an example of what the concerns are. Michael Gove.
I'm very successful and very happy. Thank you very much. So
That may be absolutely
you know.
fine, but there's a whole lot of people who have gone into adoptive families who have completely alienated those children from their roots. Those children grow up to have an identity crisis. They suffer psychological problems. You keep saying nonsense because let's let the man finish what I'm saying. This is what we deal with on a regular basis. I had a conversation this week with a white lady who said, "I am scared to say that I would like to have white grandchildren." She felt that if she says, "I want white grandchildren," that she's going to be perceived as a racist. This debate that we're having isn't about a loving, caring family. I think that's a very dangerous thing that Michael Gove has done.
But that's all that.
Well,
that's all
no,
that
I think.
matters.
Hang on. I think it's far more than that.
Yes.
It's more about.
What's it about?
It's more about the holistic provision for a child, not just.
It's about a loving family.
Not just about the physical needs,
Okay, but it's
the
also
spiritual,
about kids being
psychological,
in care
and ensuring
for far
that.
too long.
Yes.
Well,
That's
what we
it's
should be
also
doing
about.
then, Nikki, we should be ensuring that we don't pick children for parents, but we pick parents for children. If we're saying there's a shortage of parents,
I'm going to go out here
we
and see
should
what
make
Douglas
efforts to-
Murray, Sami Yaqub, Alison Ruff. Alison, let's turn it round. How would you feel about a white child being adopted by a black family? How would you feel about that?
Not a problem.
Right.
I really feel that. But I would like to ask you, if I may, there are more and more marriages taking place between black people and white people. So what do you feel about the children? I mean, it seems to me, frankly, that they've got the same problems as what you're hinting at, or more than hinting at.
When I made my opening statement, I made it very clear, and I'll repeat it again so there's no ambiguity. There is no problem with transracial adoption at all.
Right.
As long as the parents that are going to take on that child are able to provide for the holistic need of that child. That is not
surely
just.
that's what they're doing.
That is not.
But who are you to
But you
to
can apply
speak
that
on
to
the
any
issue?
family, and with
Of course you can, and I'm not denying that.
The
And that's why-
holistic needs.
and that's why I'm so
You
appalled at this debate.
live adopted two little boys. What, 20 years ago, plus
20 years
minus, from Central America.
Indeed.
Do you see to their holistic needs as ethnic Central
We
Americans?
should be asking them, surely.
Shouldn't be asking the.
Well, actually,
Well, they're not
You're
here,
saying those-
so she's the only
actually,
option for the question.
I have a message from both of them. One said to me, my 16-year-old said to me, "Well, what's so different about our family? Why, we're just like any other family." My other son said, "Well, we don't segregate people in society. Why should we segregate people when it comes to families?" Now,
Derek, let Liv say a little bit more. Let Liv say a little bit more. Liv.
forgive me. My children come from Central America. We have taken them to Central America a couple of times.
Well, that's good.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm not no, I mean it really is generally good. It's not necessarily typical.
Thank you. Well, I think it is very typical, actually.
people wouldn't necessarily have the money.
I've been working in this area for a long, long time, for something around 23 years in the adoption, speaking about adoption, looking at adoption, and I have to say that most adoptive parents are absolutely, I can't think of any of them who have said that they haven't adopted the country from which those children have come and have learnt from it and have expanded themselves from it.
And it's a rigorous process.
And it is a rigorous process, and it's a rigorous process whether you're adopting here. Believe you me, sir. Believe you me, it's a fantastically rigorous process.
You know what?
Derek, let me ask you a question.
Have you
Let
done
me
it?
ask you a question.
Have you done it?
don't need
Have
to
you
do
been?
it. I'm dealing with the fallout.
Well, hang on.
I'm dealing with the
Derek,
fallout.
would you have left those kids in Central America?
Now, what I would have done, I would have made more efforts to find the appropriate parent.
But they're not coming forward. Black and ethnic families are not coming forward to
Wait.
That's something we need to look at.
Allow me to explore this. More reference to find a... Isn't Liv not an appropriate parent?
Have your children...
just look at her
hang on
and
a
say
minute.
something.
I can't say that because I don't know Liv and I don't know her experience. But what I would tell you is that we're dealing with people who are suffering as a result of being wrongly placed.
But children...
Thank you. Who have been wrongly placed, and as a result, the parents who've taken those children on, whatever their colour and nationality, have not been able to appropriately support the needs of that child. And that, to me, is what this debate is about. It's wrong to say it's about a loving environment versus a care home existence. It's more than this.
And then I'll be up front with you, don't worry.
Are you telling me, really, that it's better for a child to be in the care system at the bottom of a complete... No, hang on, because that's... Can I say something?
Well, you've put in words that I didn't say. I said that...
I'm asking a question, and it's a very serious question. It's not necessarily addressed to you.
I'm going to get a holistic answer from
But the point is this, that the option for children, the 67,000 children who are in the care system, it's a pretty ragged old care system. These children get nothing. They get nothing, and if they're not adopted, who gives a damn about them, frankly? They don't get any culture, they don't get any education, they don't get any love. They're not even asked, they're not even made to go to school because under the
That is not a debate.
This is the whole point.
All right, listen, we're going to walk over here now in a very purposeful way. Douglas Murray, what do you make of this fascinating conversation between Ben and Derek and Precious?
I find it very worrying. I mean, I hear dogma going on of a new kind, a dogma of race. And it's effectively it's the flip side of racism.
Exactly.
To say I mean, first of all, the idea that the child is brought up in whatever DNA they've inherited, whatever skin pigmentation they're brought up in that culture per se. I don't see that at all. I mean, somebody mentioned earlier, bringing up children in black culture. What on earth? I mean, it's like saying white culture. I'll bring up a child in white culture. It's a horrible thing just to hear. But what does it mean? But look, the crucial thing here, the reason why Michael Gove has introduced this, as I understand it, is the following. There are a lot of children who are not being adopted and who need families. Those are the people, before any dogma of the race relations industry or all sorts of other things comes in, it should be those children that we focus on. And if those children are not getting a loving home and they could get one, with the parents that wanted to take them in, I think we should celebrate that. Secondly,
there is another thing, though. If you are adopted, some people who are adopted feel kind of different and they feel alienated and they can at times feel very alone. And if you are of a different colour to your parents, that can be even more acute.
Absolutely. I mean, children